Okay, today is May 25th, 2025. People have asked me, how did, or they should ask if they haven't, how did this get started with these two suspense novels that you published, Unequivocal Malice and After Dark? So, off the top of my head, uh, and a related question, do they have anything to do with that book of short stories there? Well, first of all, they generally do not. These are not classics. They're both around 400 pages, and Malice being about 100 pages shorter. Once again, a review. This is part 17, where I've answered this before. Unequivocal Malice is about 100 pages shorter than After Dark. 2004, After Dark, 2015. Unequivocal Malice, iUniverse.com, After Dark, booklocker.com. Both of them lost thousands of dollars. They did not earn a profit. And as I mentioned, neither one of them really distributed nationally by like a conventional, legitimate national book company. For instance, like Simon and Schuster or Random House or Penguin or something like that. So, well, how did this get started? Actually, I majored in print journalism in college, and was successfully employed at newspapers for 5 years, mostly in Wisconsin. I could have been employed at them longer had I not gone job hopping and had I stayed at them. So coincidentally, the plots in here do involve print newspaper journalists in smaller communities. Now, one question that might come up, did you ever do anything in high school? Actually, I did not. I was on the forensics team. In case you're not familiar, forensics involves dramatic acting and public speaking. So I did original oratory for several years. My first year, original oratory, 4 minutes. My second year, second and third year, junior and senior original oratory, 8 minutes. So I only published 2 articles in high school, so that was not enough for the school to go ahead and recommend me for writing a work. Okay, now also going back to Nicolet High School in Glendale, Wisconsin, there have been several famous people who have come out of there connected to the news and entertainment media. One being Oprah Winfrey went to that high school for 1 semester. Did you ever run into her? Well, graduating in 1976, no, I did not. I never ran into Oprah Winfrey at the high school. I don't think she was there in 72 to 76. Okay, so the next question would be, Cato Kalin was a student at that high school, and also James Caper was a student at that high school. Caper, as I recall, I was in his freshman English class, and he did go on to publish novels with Penguin Book Publishing. I believe he's published 10 or fewer. And as for Cato Kalin, I don't remember ever really meeting him or talking to him. I did see him at the school, and I did see him in a study room just off the main library, just off the main central hallway in the school where students congregated during study halls and lunch periods. So those are 2 people that I happen to know of who are sort of famous, who came out of Nicolet High School, and I really did not know either of them very well. So let's skip ahead now. After I'd done some wire editing and sports editing jobs in 1988, I received a strange, mysterious message from outer space, from an alien in outer space. And he strongly suggested, or actually coerced or forced me to attempt a stage comedy act. And my opinion based, and I'm sure my opinions are pretty black and white because they have obvious evidence. I'm not a very good stage person. I do enjoy conversation, and I've taught conversational English in China and South Korea. But I'm no good with like stage skills like playing musical instruments. I don't play any very well. I got a B or C in music in elementary school playing the clarinet. I've never played an electric guitar or drums, but I have a feeling I would not be very successful with that. So I feel I have lousy stage skills, and I made a mistake back there where I left a good job in Eau Claire as the wire editor at the one of several wire editors at the Leader Telegram, and I went out to Hollywood to attempt upon urging heavy coercion from an outer space alien, invisible. I went out to Hollywood to attempt a amateur comedy act, knowing putting together only an 8-minute act with no musical instruments and no stage skills, no magic tricks or anything, no previous experience, not a lot of previous experience acting. I developed 8 funny jokes that audiences laughed at, and under pressure from the outer space alien, between 1988 and let's say 1993 or 1991, I did approximately 40 amateur nights in Hollywood, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Milwaukee, as I recall. So to get started in that back in those days, you need at least 2 or 3 years of full-time experience where you have dozens and hundreds of original jokes that make all different kinds of audiences laugh in small towns and every place else. So I was thrust out of that, and I returned back to Milwaukee, and once again, the outer space alien at some point forced me to spend 11 years reading books at bookstores in Milwaukee and public libraries. And about halfway through that, obviously that was horrible. I had a terrible swallowing problem, panic attacks. I was way underweight. I weighed 145 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. So in order to overcome some of these problems, I began writing unequivocal Malice in approximately 2001, the first year I had ever had a home computer, a desk computer. I then self-published that with iUniverse in 2004, and at times I've seen on the internet, I don't know if I always believe the internet, I've seen on the internet that there were as many as 300 copies of these distributed. Well, I certainly did not get paid for 300 copies. Now with After Dark, I more aggressively marketed that, and I found I was able to get it into public libraries. And by my own reckoning, I may have gotten it into several dozen to over 100 public libraries around the world. I have noticed they have removed it from most of the libraries, which I thought was a mistake. When After Dark first came out in 2015, it was checked out pretty heavily for a new book. If I were them, I would have kept it. And but I am always looking for, a literary agent or a lawyer to help represent me to large book companies, because since After Dark did do something, I think it could be successful in the Midwest, or certainly at least in Wisconsin, where I'm from. So After Dark came out, as I recall, if I got the date right, in 2015 in January. And that was a little after I had been teaching in China and South Korea, teaching English. So I guess the theme throughout some of my lifetime here as an adult, 2 themes have been the English language, conversation, and/or news reporting, and/or creative writing, and also just simply general employment.